The payoff for me is when I think about the journey as a whole.
I feel like it's very important for people my age to not go out to get likes or to get that hero pick. I feel like it's important for people to understand why they are able to do what they're doing.
It's become all about the end and not about the journey.
The reason that we are able to do what we love and enjoy the great outdoors is because of conservation.
You know, a lot of people have asked me over time, why do I love duck hunting more than I love the others? And for me, it's like the dance. You're calling to try and see if they'll come dance with you.
We're a bunch of determined individuals, and we push for wetland conservation. It is our passion.
Well done! Right. To see them cut, and dip, and weave.
Let's go!
It was like the epitome of puddle hunting.
To watch the birds work is the real objective of the hunt.
Ducks Unlimited Television is presented by Drake Waterfowl Systems, innovators in waterfowl hunting.
Welcome to another all-new episode of Ducks Unlimited Television. I'm Betsy Newble. We're back in Colorado hunting with university chapter members for ducks in shallow wetlands. The action continues to be hot for decoying ducks in a beautiful Mountain West landscape. We'll also learn about Colorado wetlands conservation and the important research being conducted there. Next on America's longest running waterfowling show, Ducks Unlimited TV.
For me, this weekend is so much more than just being able to come out and film with DUTV and with Campus Waterfowl. I got to go back to places that I started with in high school.
Well, boys, just another day.
Just another day. And go see people that I haven't seen in 2 years, but when you show up and knock on their door, they go, "Hey, Colin, how are you? It's good to see you. What's going on in life?" I mean, some of these people showed up at my high school graduation. I'll send them an invite to my college graduation.
Beautiful Colorado Front Range mountains in the background here. Shaping up to be a good morning. We're ready to rock and roll and we're fired up, so it's gonna be a good one.
The thing that got me hooked about duck hunting, I think, was spending time with my friends and family. Way back when, it started with hunting with my dad at our goose lease, and then from there I partnered up with a neighbor down the street. He was 16, I was 9. We started hunting together by ourselves.
You know, you've been scouting with your dad all this time. First get your driver's license, you can finally go cruise around and check out some new spots and really start to learn and make mistakes on your own.
On the deck, boys, on the deck.
And that's when, you know, things took a turn. I started enjoying the chase, the journey, all the way from knocking on doors and making other people drive me around so I could ask for permission, all the way down to trying to figure out how to get them to suck right in the hole. For me at that time, it was freedom.
Got them.
I was not going out and going to parties. I was going duck hunting with my buddies, and it kept me out of a lot of trouble.
Here we go.
Ultimately, when I got that freedom, that's when I felt, just absolutely in love with it and what it taught me.
That was sweet.
Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah.
We didn't really see him. Did you see him come in the whole time?
Oh, yeah. Lonnie was chomping at the bit down there. I know you were.
Come on, call it.
I could make mistakes myself, and I made plenty of them. It was a time to start learning and growing up. And I think those lessons have carried forward into the rest of my life. What you do when you're out duck hunting, creating that first impression when you go up to a door, developing that relationship with those people, that's valuable skills that you can carry forward into the rest of your career. It starts off about duck hunting, right? You go up to someone's door and you knock on their door.
Yeah.
Say, "Hey, this is who I am, this is so-and-so, this is what I do." You can build a relationship over 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and you can destroy it in 5 minutes. Not picking up your shells, shooting at somebody's house, not paying attention to what's going on around you. And if they tell you no, don't push them. And I always felt like that thank you went the farthest. A handwritten thank you card or a thank you note, letting them know what's going on, how much you appreciated it. After you've done it right and taken care of all their stuff, without them, we can't do what we love to do.
Hunting with Colin and Michael this last weekend, they have so much going on, but yet they have time and they're very passionate about Ducks Unlimited and Ducks Unlimited's mission. That is something that I hope other students see in this video and on Campus Waterfowl, how passionate they are, because they are a great example of kind of what I want Campus Waterfowl and the people that are engaged with Campus Waterfowl to kind of be like.
Ducks Unlimited Television is presented by Drake Waterfowl Systems, innovators in waterfowl hunting. Mossy Oak Shadow Grass Habitat, the official camo of Ducks Unlimited. Browning Firearms, the best there is. Native Nurseries, hand-selected, hand-grown plants for wildlife. Higdon Outdoors, quality, customer service, innovation, that's Higdon. And Ducks Unlimited's 85th anniversary, celebrating 85 years as North America's leader in wetlands conservation.
My love for duck hunting has really sparked a lot of things in my life, and one thing that is very important to me and that I continue to this day is my love for business.
I came for a cause. Like I said, I wanted to better the community, better the world outside so other people could have the opportunity to be in the outdoors. But what I didn't realize was what a beautiful network Ducks Unlimited is.
Hey, right here, right up front, boys, get ready.
Roll them. Countless connections have come out of being involved in.
There we go, boys! Here we go!
Not only people my own age, but people that can really influence your career.
Yeah, mentors and...
Like that dude, he didn't get successful without knowing anything. You don't think you can learn from him and know what he knows? And then you can take it and go, okay, how did he started this business by doing this, this, and this. How am I gonna do that?
I've always loved duck and goose calling, and always been pretty entrepreneurial. So when I was 11 years old, I wanted to buy some duck decoys, right? So I decided I needed a way to make some money. And you know, for some reason people wouldn't hire an 11-year-old kid. I'm not sure why, but what better way to do that than to start making duck and goose calls. So saved up enough money to buy a lathe and some other equipment for making duck calls, and made duck and goose calls from the time I was 11 to about 20 years old. You know, most people didn't know that a 11-year-old kid was slinging these things, but that was how I wanted it to be, right? I didn't want people to buy my calls because I was a kid. I wanted them to buy my calls because they were good calls. I was pretty shy as a kid, and I feel like my duck and goose call business is something that made me get outside my comfort zone and, you know, start talking to people more, be more outgoing. And I mean, that's a lot of the reason why I heard about DU in the first place and actually started getting involved there.
Got him. We didn't know anything about business. We never have, but it kind of leveled that playing field out to where you could sit there and talk about hunting. You can go play golf, but where else can you go spend a half a day or a full weekend with people and just hang out?
Yeah.
And there's nothing else that matters but what's going on right now.
You know, I've got buddies from all over the country now because of going to third term and hanging out. And
yeah, you connect with so many people and they would learn things from them and how they could better their chapters. So.
Right. It was just fun to get to know people from all over the place. You know, I had some kids from Louisiana that came and hunted with me the first year after that. 5 of them showed up and stayed in my parents' basement freshman year during Christmas break. Second year, I went back and met some guys from North Carolina, and he's actually, I'm hoping he's going to be our lawyer by the time he gets done with his school and everything else. He's a business lawyer, so. Cool. Just cool connections like that, you know.
Yeah. So Colin and Michael are definitely a great example of what kind of, I hope, Campus Waterfowl can do for students at a national level, because even hearing Colin's stories about just all the networking he's done through Ducks Unlimited, it's like him and Michael both have a very bright future ahead of them.
Colorado's a mountain state, known more for ski lodges than wetlands. Take a closer look, however, and this state has a lot to offer in waterfowl and wetlands landscapes. From backwater river marshes to ranch ponds and lakes, Colorado has a wide diversity of wetlands to attract ducks and geese in large numbers. Split between the Central and Pacific flyways, Colorado provides important migration habitat for waterfowl that are produced in the prairie pothole region and local breeding habitat for several duck species, including the cinnamon teal. Colorado's eastern plains, particularly the South Platte River corridor, are a prime example of the state's top quality migration habitat. This region is part of Ducks Unlimited's Heartland Heritage Habitat Initiative, a partner-based program restoring shallow wetlands along the Platte River. Through the Peaks and Prairies Initiative, Ducks Unlimited focuses on restoration and protection of key sites throughout the Rocky Mountain Range that contain high-quality wetlands and large concentrations of waterfowl. To find out more about Colorado wetlands and how you can help DU restore and conserve them, please visit ducks.org.
DU Insights is brought to you by Mossy Oak Properties. Find your favorite place at mossyoakproperties.com.
No, so my thoughts on the Tetra, I mean, they're as good as they sound. And
I mean, I really haven't used anything like this in the past. And honestly, I'm bad about earplugs too, so I feel like I'm picking up a lot more ducks too. We're about to pop some ducks right here.
Bad day to be a duck.
Ears aren't ringing. Just dropped a couple ducks, and yeah, it's been a good day. Tetras are killing it.
yeah.
This, what we're doing right here, is what I've been doing with these guys since I've been hunting with Ryland since I was in 7th grade. Alden obviously in college, Michael in college. But there was a group of us in high school that we all ran around together, and we were all going to different high schools, playing different sports. So this was like the glue that kind of held us together. As a hunter and outdoorsman, I'm extremely passionate about a legacy of what this land and this earth is going to look like as I get older.
I feel like it's very important for people my age to understand why they are able to do what they're doing.
When you're young, you don't really have a bunch of money to give to conservation. So you kind of ask yourself, well, what can I do to give back? I don't have money, but I have time. When you love something so much that you're willing to give the one thing that you don't know how much you have of to conserve for the next generation, and give back, that's the ultimate sacrifice. That's what I chose to start a high school chapter and volunteer. Got him up. I searched out, found the varsity deal, and I was like, man, I gotta figure out how to start that. So I reached out to Mark Orbitz, got that core group of guys together that we hunted with. You know, when he came over, he was like, well, essentially you try to have a banquet, and we were like, oh, we're seniors in high school, we don't know anything about raising any money. But it turned out that we had a 250-person inaugural event. We sold it out. We had around 30,000 net dollars after all said and done in 3 hours. And the people I met during that event have stayed with me. I've developed some great connections from it. I learned how to use my email that I didn't know how to use in high school.
One thing that I've heard countless times is the life skills that come out of being involved with a Ducks Unlimited chapter. They're running a business on their college chapter for the first time.
I fought my regional director. He would send us an email, I'd be like, Eric, I don't look at my email, send me a text. I want a text message. You know, our generation, we just text, we call. He was like, no, use an email. Eric, you were right. Taught me way early on how to use that and be professional about it. And it's helped me so much down the line, and I was able to get a little bit ahead of the curve just because I was involved in Ducks Unlimited.
Waterfowlers do run into unusual situations that can pop up at any time, so you have to prepare your retriever to work from a variety of platforms and locations. Take this blind for instance. This dog is going to have to work remote. In other words, leave the blind, make the pick, return back to the blind on pretty much his own accord after being released. So we have to start early to prepare your dog for a situation like this. So let's take a look. Let's take a little 3-month-old pup. and see how we can start getting the puppy in and out of the hide. Simply take his crate that he's familiar with and he's comfortable in his home, take it outside and brush it out. Put a bit of cover or a blanket and teach the pup to go in and out. And actually, if he likes to retrieve, make some little short retrieves. Then we move to an elevated platform or a dog hide, where the dog is a bit more older and experienced. Now we have to add remote scent. That is, the handler is standing away from the hide and the handler casts the dog for the memory or the mark. By casting for the memory of the mark, he's standing off to the side, so the dog is going to return to him directly, present the bird, then be directed to go back to the hide. Again, practice with the dog being patient, that all bumpers that you throw out are not his. Deny a few of them, pick them up yourself, or allow another dog to do so. Next, we transition all these skills to the actual hunting situation and the big blinds. Transitional training is practice as you will play. This type of training is specialized, and it's going to pay dividends in the boat blind, duck blind, or an A-frame just like this. It requires remote scent, it requires steadiness, it requires patience, and it's going to take some practice. So before opening day, prepare your dog in case they have a challenge just such as this that will test your skills as well as his.
Duck Dog with Mike Stewart is presented by Purina Pro Plan, nutrition that performs. DUTV is powered by Browning Ammunition, the best there is. Biologic, scientifically proven wildlife products. Purina Pro Plan, nutrition that performs. Tetra Hearing, more than hearing protection, it's hearing perfection. Mossy Oak Properties, America's land specialist. Closed captioning for Ducks Unlimited Television is brought to you by Mossy Oak Bottomland, the official timber pattern of Ducks Unlimited.
The reason I strive to continue to conserve our natural resources is ultimately for the next generation. I'm extremely thankful for what the outdoors has done for me, for what Ducks Unlimited has done for me, how much it's taught me. And that's where my passion comes from. I realize I wouldn't be where I am today without the great outdoors and some of the people that are involved in DU and in the outdoor industry. I've had tons of great mentors that have come from it. I don't know how to thank them enough. All of what they would want me to do is pay it forward, as would DU.
Good shot, Derek.
That's a good looking
Drakes. That's a good looking bird right there. Came in, did it perfect.
Hit him with the double tap.
Not much else you can ask for. Pretty Colorado mallard.
You know, everybody's got their story about how they got into it, but I just felt like there wasn't enough opportunity for somebody if they didn't have a dad or if they didn't have a friend or something like that. So I was like, well, we'll see how, I want to figure out how I can make the community a little bit better. My main focus for Ducks Unlimited, and it always has been, is I really just want to see the next generation get involved in the outdoors the right way. The payoff for me is when I think about the journey as a whole, a hunt all the way down to the very bottom. I mean, you wake up and you're like, okay, where am I gonna go hunting?
Oh, in the deeks. Shoot this. That's a drake.
Nice.
Woo! Drakes.
Good deal.
I think for me, it's being able to go out and scout, develop those relationships on places that you get permission to. And when you do finally get a good shoot and everybody's hooting and hollering and having a good time, and afterwards you see the reward of everyone saying, hey man, that was awesome, you know, that was fun and the ducks did it right, and you go out and you have breakfast and that's kind of the glue that holds everybody together. That's the journey for me from start to finish. You know, a hunt isn't really just a hunt when you're throwing out the decoys. It's, you know, the hunt's won or lost before you even step foot in the duck blind. When I look back, it's that grounding in the outdoors that created for me, putting in all that windshield time, and this right here, this is a teacher, if you decide to listen. So for me, that's when I realized, man, I hope everyone has that opportunity, not only myself, and I decided something needed to be done about it.
It's truly an honor to be here and have the opportunity to do this and represent such an organization that cares so much about protecting and conserving North America's wetlands. It's an honor to be a part of something that is bigger than yourself, and to represent the younger audience. The crazy, the shadow, having the opportunity to share their stories, it's something that I'll definitely hold close, near and dear to my heart for a very long time.
All right, everybody, that's gonna do it here at Colorado State University for the Collegiate Waterfowl Tour.
I think for everyone out there, we all think of that one person that introduced us to waterfowl and grew our love. And I talked about my friends a lot on this deal, but ultimately, go back and tell that person how much you appreciate them for introducing you to something that you love. Because at the end of the day, I wouldn't be who I am without it. So that person knows who they are, so thank you.
What an exciting time in Colorado, a state off the beaten path for waterfowl hunting. Thanks again to all of our university chapters and the members of Colorado State. Your commitment to wetlands conservation is much appreciated. If you'd like to join a DU University chapter at your school, please visit ducks.org for more information. Thanks again for watching, and see you next time on Ducks Unlimited TV.
Single.
That was horrible, my bad, boys.
Get that on cam, please.
Wow!
Yeah, I hope somebody
Tell me that was on cam.
Nope, that one's not going on the TV show. That's gonna be the opener.
I was gonna say,
That's gonna be the opener of this episode. Mulligan.
That's been all week.
Punching three. Punching three. He hasn't been shooting all week because he hasn't been wanting to move.
Hey, shut up.